Welcome to the channel. Today, I'm going to talk about a couple of women that have a lot in common. Molly Tibbetts and Laken Riley. Two young women, both out for a jog, both brutally murdered by an illegal or a criminal alien. Here's a clip that aired on Laken Riley's murder.
Now to the gruesome new details tonight in the case of the nursing student killed while running on the University of Georgia campus, how the suspect allegedly tried to conceal her death amid major questions now about why he was in this country. Steve Osunsami in Georgia again tonight.
In arrest records, prosecutors say that this 26-year-old from Venezuela, accused of murder on the University of Georgia campus, did conceal the death of 22-year-old Laken Riley by dragging the victim to a secluded area. Riley was a cross-country runner at her old high school in the Atlanta suburbs and was a nursing student at a school near UGA when she was out running near this lake and was killed. Jose Ibarra is in a Georgia jail charged with murder tonight, and his story is adding fuel to the fire over immigration.
Mr. Ibarra has been charged with malice murder, felony murder, aggravated battery.
It's now a year and a half after authorities first arrested him for crossing the southern U.S. border unlawfully. And in that same time, federal officials say he was also arrested in New York City for a motor vehicle license violation, acting in a manner to injure a child less than 17. He was released each time. He and his brother were living in an apartment building near jogging trails where Riley was killed. Prosecutors say Ibarra prevented her from making a 911 call and used an object to kill her.
Now that you've heard the story, just listen to how this guy describes it. This description is what actually prompted me to make the video in the first place. So let me roll it.
It was a crime of opportunity where he saw an individual and bad things happened.
Bad things happened. Malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, hindering a 911 call, concealing the death of Riley. He characterizes that as bad things happened. A bad thing is your car broke down on the way to work, or your car broke down on the way home. Or you get an IRS audit and they want to take your house away from you, take your car away from you, and deduct money from your bank account. That's a bad thing that happened. Somebody bludgeoning you and murdering you while you're out for a jog in a free country, that's not a bad thing. That's horrific. This man should be removed from his position and never allowed to speak for the police department ever again. He doesn't have a clue what he's doing or what he's saying. So how are we supposed to know we have a problem if the media continually commits lies through omission and they don't present all the facts or they hide facts? This is the way they reported this murder. Let's go to the clip.
The Associated Press is doing everything they can to avoid mentioning that the suspect is illegal, referring to him as an Athens resident and focusing their headlines on the dangers of women jogging alone. Check out this ridiculous framing. You ready? Quote, "The killing of a nursing student out for a run highlights the fears of solo female athletes."
It's not just the media. The White House also withholds relevant facts.
On Friday evening, a 9-year-old child was murdered along with 4 others in yet another shocking, horrific act of gun violence in America, this time in Cleveland, Texas. 2 of the women killed were discovered on top of surviving children and appeared to be shielding them from gunfire. In all, 5 people were murdered by an individual armed with a powerful AR-15 style rifle.
So the incident she's talking about here is a shooting that happened in Cleveland, Texas. This happened in April of last year. And it was reported on, you can see here, April 29th, and it was updated April 30th. So they have a suspect. They've named him Francisco Oropesa, 38. Said he was armed with a black AR-15 semi-automatic rifle when he went to the home. So the things they're offering a reward, $80,000. Well, we might need to know some things about him. We want a reward. Let's see. So we go down here and we see, here are the things that we need to know. The shooting occurred at a home in Cleveland, Texas around 11:30 p.m. Friday. 10 people were in the house. 5 died, including an 8-year-old child. A suspect, Francisco Oropesa, is accused of using an AR-15 rifle and is believed to have fled the country. Oropesa was not in custody Saturday. So here's my notes here. So we don't need to know his height. We don't need to know his weight, his build, his race, his immigration status. But we do need to know these things. He used an AR-15 rifle. Well, at least they didn't call it an assault rifle or an assault weapon. Now we read down a little bit further and we find out that the suspect is a Mexican national. What does that mean? Does that mean he's from Mexico and he's over here illegally working? Or does it mean he walked across the border illegally and now he's in the country illegally? We might need to know these things. I think we need to know them. But as you saw in her press statement, she mentioned nothing about that. And her press statement came out May 1st. So probably at least 3 or 4 days after this happened, but definitely the day after everybody knew he was a Mexican national. So they're just not telling us that. She wasn't asked a question about this. She just walked up to the microphone and started talking about it all by herself. And why? This is why.
Is the fact that it is entirely within our power to take these weapons of war off our streets.
It helps feed a narrative that they want to push. And that's the bottom line. Now, if you need more proof there's a problem, then there's this.
And the stories like this keep coming. This week in Maryland, an illegal was busted in connection to the murder of a 2-year-old boy. Last month, an illegal shot at cops here in New York. And in Louisiana, an illegal Honduran man has been arrested for raping a 14-year-old at knife point.
Now, you don't have to be a genius as to why we need to know this type of information. Hell, even Microsoft knows. And I got it by asking it a different question, and it prompted me and gave me this. According to Microsoft, here's the reasons why we might want to know what the immigration status of a suspect is. Transparency and accountability, including this information in news reports, ensures transparency and accountability. It allows the public to understand the full context of a crime and the suspect's background. 2, public safety awareness. Immigration status can impact public safety. If a suspect is in the county illegally or country illegally, it raises questions about border security and potential risk associated with illegal immigration. You think? Policy discussions. Accurate reporting on immigration-related crimes informs policy discussions. Policymakers need complete information to make informed decisions about immigration laws and enforcement. Avoiding bias. Omitting immigration status can lead to bias or misperceptions. Providing all relevant details helps prevent misinformation and ensures fair reporting. Victim advocacy. Highlighting immigration status can also advocate for victims. Families of victims deserve to know the full truth about the circumstances surrounding a crime. In summary, mentioning a suspect's immigration status contributes to informed public discourse, safety awareness, and accountability. 3 things we do not have right now.
Georgia Governor Brian Kemp says Joe Biden has blood on his hands.
The American people know exactly what happened. The southern border was open. You've had people like Greg Abbott that have had to take the situation into their own hands, and thankfully he has. You can see how to secure the border. This president and this, so-called czar of the border, vice president, did not do that. And they were hoping the American people were going to ignore this issue, and now we have a dead young woman because of it.
So in the words of one of our favorite press secretaries, I want to circle back to the beginning. Americans are being murdered and killed in this country because of illegal immigration. And the fake news is choosing to report it this way until they're caught.
The Biden administration is failing. I want to come to you on this AP headline because we want to get it in. The killing of a nursing student out for a run highlights the fears of solo female athletes. This particular story from the AP left out his immigration status, likewise left out the immigration status of Molly Tibbetts' killer. Irresponsible journalism.
Look, we saw this in New York. We've seen this in other times. What they're trying to do is just avoid the topic at all costs, because that would mean that they would have to cover this president in a very negative way. He is not winning in any way, shape, or form on this issue.
We have no idea what the last moments of these girls' lives were like. We only can assume that they were horrific from the circumstances that we could see. But what we do know is if we don't do anything, we've failed. We've already failed Laken. We've failed Molly. And we failed all of those people that are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We have to do something about this problem. If you think more people need to see this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching. Peace out.